There we go. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 a.m. New York time, which means London open. London is actually open. It's been open for about a minute and a half. And, coming up on a minute and a half. And we're just watching what's transpiring here on this Monday after a very interesting week. Last week, of course, everybody saw what happened there. This big rally continued, really, on Friday. This colored background you see here, this gray-green, blue, is the New York session on Friday. And then this was the London, and this was the Asian session, of course. So you get the Asian, London, and New York on Friday. And we had the weekend, and we opened up yesterday. So Sunday, 6 p.m. my time is when NASDAQ futures opens. And we had this gap move down about 60 or 70 points, I believe. For the entire move, 70 points from the open to the bottom of that candle there. There's a bit of a gap in there, but that's a legitimate gap. That's a gap where no activity happens over the weekend. So not really a huge deal. This idea that all gaps must be filled is kind of a misnomer. They typically are filled fairly quickly, but not always. This one I will be filled, of course, at some point. Doesn't mean it has to happen today. All right, so here we are, guys. For those who are new, we're trading the NASDAQ futures today. We can and do trade just about anything and everything here. But lately, it's been just NASDAQ. It's where all where the greatest volatility and momentum is, the movement, the volume, the interest. And so we are focused on the NASDAQ for these opening sessions on London and New York. Just really capitalizing on the flurry of activity as this thing opens up and does its thing. The only other screen we will look at, but this is a 10, for those who are brand new, this is a 10-minute chart on the left-hand side, as you can see down here. And it is a 1-minute chart on the right-hand side, both NASDAQ, so 10 minutes on the left, 1 minute on the right. The only other screen we'll look at every now and then is this one. I call it the Four Sisters. It's 4 indices, 3 of them are in the U.S., and 1 is German, the DAX index. So it's the NASDAQ on the far left. That's the one we're trading. These are 1-minute charts. The Dow to its right, and the S&P to its right, and then finally the DAX on the far right-hand side. And what we're looking for here is consistency, congruency, synchronicity between the indices, or possible divergence to garner clues as to what the next move might be. That blue line you see there, which will move out to the right as prices are printed, as candles are printed, is the open of London, which just happened 4 minutes ago or so, 5 minutes ago now. And so all 4 of these indices are trading above the London open, and they're all trading above their 20 EMA, right? So they're very much in sync right now, more or less, as you can see. Sometimes we get a divergence, though. You'll see 1 or more trading below the open, while others are trading above, and that's when we have divergence, and we need to try to decipher which one or ones are leading and which ones are lagging or following, and then perhaps do some kind of an arbitrage type of move to close that gap as they begin to synchronize and equalize. You'll see now prices dropping after that little flurry upwards, and that kind of open chaos that we often see. And this is kind of small chaos this morning. There's not much going on here. You'll see that first candle. That's the 10-minute candle right there. I normally don't panic on the open here. As most of you will know, I normally don't even enter a trade until that 10-minute candle is completely closed and finished. Sometimes I will. You will see it on my videos. If I like the looks of the pre-market, the pre-London, which is during Asia, of course, and we're still during Asia here in London Open, then I'll sometimes take a momentum trade right off the open. But that's fairly rare. I probably have about 4 or 5 videos where I've done that. Most of the time, I'll wait for this 10-minute candle to close and then see what the market has to offer. That's what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to take a break in speaking right now. We'll watch to see how this pans, and then we'll come back. Not much going on here. You'll see prices pushing down now after creating that top wick there. You'll often see scalpers and younger traders, newer traders jump in and try to anticipate what's going to happen here. If you remember, that was a strong white candle just a couple of minutes ago, maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago, and now dropping down, reversing and continuing this little bit of a trend that was coming into the London session here. All right, be watching that 1 minute on the right-hand side as well. Give us some clues. How it interacts with the 20 EMA. Doesn't matter what EMA you use, by the way. I happen to use a 20. I just like the way the look and feel of it for scalping. But you can use a 15, a 10, a 25, a 30, 50, even a 100 EMA. What we're looking for here is relative deviations from that EMA. You can also see, I'm going to expand this 10-minute chart to remind you that I do have support and resistance lines and zones, like you can call them. People are calling them ZAR zones for Zerillion. But they're just support and resistance zones. Like, it's pretty simple stuff. If you've been doing this for a while, you just see this in your sleep, and it's not a big deal. But you can call them ZAR zones if you like. I'm kind of tickled by that. It's pretty funny and fun. We have a great group, Telegram group, and I sent these ideas out, of course, ahead of time before the market opened. And so the group is able to take advantage of them in their own trading, depending on how they trade. I'll trade a little differently. I'm not expecting anybody to copy my way of scalping here, or swing trading, or position trading, and we do it all. But I like to send out my structure ideas ahead of time and my trade ideas, just what I'm looking at throughout the day. Telegram group is free. We don't charge for anything here at Zerillion. Just sharing for the love of the game. As you'll often hear me say. 33 years trading now into my fourth decade. 25-year technical analyst, fundamental analyst before that. Long career in asset management, some of the largest asset managers in the world. And active trader for all that time. And just sharing my knowledge and my experience and learning. I'm coming to every day with a beginner's mind, as you'll hear me say as well. Looking to learn from other veteran traders and rookie traders, younger traders who have been only trading for 6 months, have things to teach me. It's just a fresh perspective, looking at new things, looking at things in a new way, I should say. There's no real new things to look at, but bringing a fresh spin. I love it. I come every day, I ask myself, what can I learn today, even after all these thousands and thousands of hours looking at candles unfold and many, many charts. All right, we're into the second candle now of the session. This is the second 10-minute candle, and we have 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in this candle, and there's nothing for me here. What happens for me is that this first 10-minute candle becomes my minimum open range. You see that? It closed doji. Doji meaning an indecision candle in the middle of the wicks. There's the high of the candle, the low of the candle, small body in the middle of the wicks. Essentially a doji, more or less. All right, so that becomes my open range. This is what it looks like. This is my open range here because it's the height or the amplitude of that initial candle, right? I'm just going to put this here like that so you can see. And typically that means no trades for me. Not always. There's nothing cut and dry in the world of trading, certainly not in the world of scalping, where we are nimble. We're constantly incorporating new information as the market brings it to us, whether it be on the 10-minute chart in this case or be on the 1 minute or 30-second chart, but fresh information. And we remain nimble, flexible, and you'll see that in my videos, changing my mind at the drop of a hat, and that's important. I have strong opinions, but weakly held. As new information comes out, I only care about the truth, and the truth is what the market is telling me at any given point in time. And the reason I know it's the truth is because the market deeply affects my account balance. Therefore, it is always right. It doesn't mean the individual participants are right, far from it. but the market is right. I need to believe that. I need to come in with that mindset in order to capitalize on profit extraction and in order to manage my account balance, because that will dictate it. In other words, price pays. Only price matters. Not my opinions, not my predictions, not my theories, none of it. Only price pays, and only price matters. I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, it will as you continue to enjoy our expanding content here. Over 150 videos now in the last 3.5 weeks. That must be a record of some kind. But we're very prolific here in terms of producing content, and we'll continue to do so as long as it's fun for us, as you've heard me say on my welcome video. So that first candle, trying to push up now, but still, that second candle, the first new candle after the range has been set. You'll notice that I expanded my range from just the opening candle. See that there? You'll notice that I expanded it from here to incorporate the surrounding resistance as well. And that's important. That's an important thing to do, because that was part of the Asian session. It does matter. And so there's no use just using this candle as the opening range if it's running right into these rejection wicks here and this rejection zone here. And then, by the way, this next one over here. And so you'll see I have arrows above here and below here. Those arrows are not predictions. They're simply indicating where I believe that prices may flow freely due to clean traffic on the cleanish traffic, I should say, on the left-hand side. It's not completely clean, but it's cleanish. This is clean traffic down here, these wicks, and this is clean traffic, very clean traffic here, right? There's no busyness, there's no pivots in there, or there are no pivots in there, and you get the idea. The reason I don't just draw one big arrow down here is because prices are very likely to pause here, to pause here, to pause here, pause here, even reject. And actually revert back upwards again in this case, right? But certainly pause and breathe a little bit. That's not true if there's a news event or something big happens in the market. The price could just slice through all of these like a knife through, hot knife through butter, right? And we see that during CPI releases and interest rate changes, announcements, and so on and so forth. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to bring back the 1 minute chart now as well. So now we're watching the 10 minute on the left-hand side. And we're watching the 1 minute on the right-hand side. And there's nothing going on. We're very range-bound here, still in the middle of that opening range where I will take no trades. That's what I've been doing lately, because this is sort of the way London has been playing out. And to a large extent, New York as well, although I've taken more trades on the open in New York. Of course, that's when the NASDAQ index is actually open, the spot market, not just the futures market. And so we get a whole lot more volume on the New York Open. But what I've been doing lately is really coming on here and just talking about this opening range, talking about what happened the previous day, in this case Friday, and what happened overnight, and setting up some structure for the day. And that structure can change very quickly. It gets revised several times throughout the day, and I send those revisions off to my Telegram group at Cerulean Trading at Telegram. And if you're a like-minded individual, we encourage you to come and join the group. We only accept positive vibe and positive attitude, a beginner's mind, humility, a willingness to learn, and a willingness to teach and share ideas. If that's you, come on by, come and join the group, come and join the family. It's expanding rapidly. We're at 170 people, I believe, 169 this morning, just checked that, in the last 3 weeks. And group is growing very rapidly. Wonderful group of people. We have some very seasoned veteran traders in the group, and who are absolutely willing to share their ideas throughout the day and their successes. And then we have some very new traders who are there to learn, but also, like I said earlier, can teach us a thing or two by bringing a fresh perspective to this game that we're in. But if you're a lover of learning and sharing and have a positive attitude, we'd love to have you. Cerulean Trading at Telegram, where I send my ideas out ahead of time and just give a little test. It's not a signal group, by the way. If you're looking there to get to copy signals, this will not be the place for you for sure. But sending out ideas and saying, look, guys, this is what I'm looking at, and you know how I enter, and now you need to decide that if there's a setup there for you based on your own model of the world and your own model of trading, then there may be an opportunity there for you. And the group very much appreciates that kind of guidance, leadership, but also just sharing thinking, right? Thoughts, ideas. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream, if you will. It's a recorded stream in this case. And I'll tell you what I'm looking for right here before I leave you. Is looking for a break, certainly above into this zone for a potential move higher, or a break down here. This is even a nicer move down here, cleaner. And I would be looking for a closing 10-minute candle, ideally with a bottom wick in this case, and then a top wick on the next candle and a break below the trigger candle. If you watch my videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about and how I enter, how I manage. Just because prices break here below and close below, it does not mean it's a sell signal for me, by the way. There are other things I look at, symmetry, proportion, extension, overextension, things of that nature. And that will become very clear to you as you watch our videos and our playlists on the YouTube channel. Guys, I want to thank you for joining us this morning for the London Open here on Monday, November the 14th. Can't believe it's mid-November already, but the weather certainly tells me that it is. It's been a very cool weekend here in the New York zone. But I look forward to seeing you later on in this session for trades if they set up properly, or set up correctly for us anyway, or in the New York session on the New York Open and beyond. Thanks again for joining us. Have an amazing day and an incredible week, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, guys.